Hi, welcome back to Call to the Home. Today we're going to continue our series on cleaning by talking about the third most important part of your house, whether you're in survival mode, are just beginning to tackle better cleaning your home, or are looking for ideas for better cleaning your already pretty clean home. And that is the bathroom. While, of course, it's most important that we have food to eat and clothes to wear, the bathroom ranks pretty high up there in terms of importance as well. So today I have 8 primary tips for you, and I'll throw in a whole bunch of freebies along the way, of course. So let's get right to it. First, when you're in the bathroom and you're thinking about cleaning and how that should look, the toilet itself is the most important piece to keep clean. The flush handle and the actual seat have got to stay clean at all times. There's a couple of different tips I'll provide you as well as some suggestions for various stages of parenthood and such. So, number one, it is easier to wipe it down often than to let it go a longer period of time, like a week, 2 weeks, month, right? We don't want to do that because then when you've let it go so long, it starts to harden, crystallize on there. The acidity of the urine actually eats away most toilet seat materials. So wiping it down more often is better. I will just suggest something as a routine and you do what you will with the suggestion. Every time you go to use the toilet, the beginning of the day, so the first time you personally go in there, wipe the toilet seat down. That way, at least daily, it's getting wiped down. Now, to make that task easy for you, you may want to go for convenience. So get a very cheap pack of baby diaper wipes and keep it on the back of the toilet. Now, don't do that if your kids will accidentally use them and flush them down the toilet. Bad idea. But keep that in there so that when you go into the restroom every morning, you can take out a diaper wipe real quick, wipe the flush knob first, and then hit the toilet seat and under the toilet seat, and you're good to go. That'll prevent any long-term buildup. Of course, diaper wipes don't sanitize anything. We're just trying to prevent long-term buildup, and we'll hit it later at the end of the week with a sanitizing technique. So that's one option. Another option, if you think that you can handle at your current stage and position in cleaning and in life, doing a more deep clean more frequently, then keep paper towels and a spray right there on the back of the toilet. That's what I do in my house. And in the morning, when you're in there, you go ahead and use the restroom, flush the toilet, spray the seat and the handle down, maybe go brush your teeth, come back, and then take a paper towel and wipe things down. I'm going to talk for just 2 seconds about sprays, what works, what doesn't. So what we use in our house is called hypochlorous acid. And I'm going to spell that because not everybody's taken a lot of chemistry. That's hypo, H-Y-P-O, chlorous, C-H-L-O-R-O-U-S, acid. It is a chlorine compound similar to bleach, but not bleach. Does not smell anything like bleach, so that's a bonus. But it is powerful enough to actually destroy pathogens. What I like about this one, as both a chemist and a mom that's, very cognizant about what I'm exposing my family to, is that within 10 minutes, it degrades down into literally water, H2O, water, and table salt, sodium chloride. So, without me having to go back through and rinse it down or wipe it off, let's say I forget, right, in those 10 minutes I went to go do something else and I forgot to come back. The toilet seat might be a bit wet if it hasn't had enough time to evaporate off, but it's completely safe. There's nothing that's going to leave any kind of residue. They actually market this product. You typically can't find it in stores. Before COVID, you could. But right now, you usually have to order it on Amazon or Walmart online. But they market the product for daycares because you can spray high chairs and plates and utensils with it. And as long as 10 minutes pass before a kid licks it, absolutely nothing harmful left on it. But again, it's a chlorine compound, bleach-like substance, very much capable of absolutely obliterating any virus or bacteria or pathogen that is there. And in the bathroom, whilst you may choose other methods for cleaning other parts of your home, in the bathroom and when dealing with raw meats, you must have something that will actually kill pathogens. And I hate to be the one to tell you it, but vinegar and baking soda don't work. They're very diluted. The vinegar you get from the grocery store is usually 5 to 8%. It's not going to do anything. You can drink it. It doesn't do anything to you. Now you can get concentrated vinegar. You can buy acetic acid powder and make it yourself, but that stuff's so strong it eats through walls. So you're not putting it on your toilet. So again, you need something that is actually going to kill pathogens. All right, moving on from toilet seat wipe down. Number 2, most important thing is that the actual bowl of the toilet gets cleaned regularly. If you fail to do that, whether you're sick or whether the household's running well, you're going to eventually actually have bacteria colonize the toilet. And you'll start to see dots growing and forming, usually right under and right above the water line in the toilet seat. That is your cue that bacteria have taken over, and that's literally a petri dish colony growing right there in your toilet. They'll start to produce all kinds of smells. It's very unsanitary. And so you don't want to get to that point. That's a sign that you've messed up many steps ago. Now, you may choose to just do it every day. That's really best to make it a part of routine, but it doesn't have to be done daily. Make sure that you've got a good toilet brush in there and that you put some sort of, again, anti-pathogenic substance in the toilet. Bleach is actually the best for the toilet bowl itself. I know everybody hates that. There are a few, very few other peroxide type chemicals and things like that that will maybe work. But be careful buying this all natural stuff because it usually doesn't do a thing. Bleach is natural. Peroxide is natural, just a matter of the concentration and ventilation. Run the fan, put some in there, swish it around. The substance does need to sit on the toilet for a little bit to actually kill the pathogens. You can't squirt it in, brush it, and walk away. You didn't do anything. So you do have to put something in the toilet, leave the fan running so everybody knows, hey, mom's cleaning the bathroom for 5 minutes. Go do something for 5 or 10 minutes. Whatever chemical you use for that is going to tell you on the label how long, and then come back and brush it down. In our house, we try to do that once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on which toilet gets the most used. So if you have multiple restrooms in your home, the high traffic toilet probably should get done twice a week, beginning and middle, however you want to divide that. And then other toilets on maybe other floors of the home that don't get used quite as often can do with once a week, and that's fine. Now again, for convenience, it's really easy if you don't have to put something in the toilet and then count 10 minutes and come back because you'll forget. You've got a lot going on. So for convenience, it may not always be the cheapest. It is very helpful to have the little gel things that you stick inside the toilet bowl or the tablets that you put in the tank on the back of the toilet. That continually is putting some sort of a cleaning anti-pathogenic chemical into the toilet. The water shouldn't be clear when those things are being used, otherwise it's run out and you need to replace it. But that then skips a step for you. The water's already clean and sanitized, so you can go ahead and run that brush around it without having to do any kind of wait time. So convenience method, if that's what you need to do, do that. Better to have a clean home. But you don't have to go that route. So like I said, you can just buy regular old bleach. You don't need much of it to put in there. You can get a toilet gel and things are usually a little more expensive, but choose a method that actually does kill pathogens at least once a week. Take care of that toilet. All right, item number 3, the actual sink faucet handles and doorknobs in the bathroom are going to get really, really gross, especially if you have younger children, not particularly thorough in their hand washing, or maybe forget touch the door handle first and then remember they're supposed to wash their hands. It happens. And so the hypochlorous acid spray, again, I love that because if it is a sanitary thing, I'm concerned about maybe we didn't get to our hands washing in the proper step of events, or if there's stomach virus going through the house or some sort of sickness, I can just spray the handles. I spray the toilet seat, basically spray every surface in the bathroom, light switches, everything you've got. Go brush my teeth and then come back. I can wipe everything down. I just don't like having it wet. Again, you don't have to for toxicity's sake. And then it's all clean and sanitary. Now, you don't have to use an anti-pathogenic spray if there's not any concern of, sickness going around the house we're trying to control. 99% of the time in my house, I just use plain soapy water and an actual cloth for the sink handles and the doorknobs and the light switches, things like that, that I'm not concerned really about, nasty E. coli pathogens and sort of those types of things getting onto them. And so for your day-to-day regular cleaning, you can just use regular old soap and water. It works just fine. But make sure that you do hit those. Again, it's convenient to kind of keep a rag and just change it out, every time you use it. Of course, put it in the hamper to be washed, but keep a stack of washcloths in the bathroom, maybe a little basket, maybe a rack behind the toilet, a little, medicine cabinet type thing. It just helps to have the items in there because we're creatures of habit and convenience, and just kind of build that into your little routine. Wipe down the handles, assign a child to do that. But keeping the sink handles itself clean helps make sure that that very high contact area stays clean and you're not spreading sickness or causing germs to increase in the house. Now, I will say, for a little deeper clean, you should, of course, be cleaning the actual sink, everything that you can see under the sink, around the sink. And then, you're not going to like this part, the drain plugs. You pull the handle up and down so that you can close and open the sink drain. That actually comes out, the little drain, not on the back of the sink, but the one down in the bottom, that you should be able to twist and kind of pull out, or maybe slide and pull out. That's supposed to be pulled out and cleaned. If you haven't done that ever, it's not going to be pretty. So get some gloves, spray it real good with some hypochlorous acid or bleach first, and then go in there with paper towels or a washcloth that you don't mind checking or you're okay washing again. And clean that off really good. You should get all the mold off of it. It should be the nice, solid plastic, whatever color it is. And then you may have to learn a little bit of how does it hook on. Some of them have a hook at the bottom, some are completely closed, and then there's a stick in the bottom of the sink that you kind of hook it back in and you make sure that it can still go up and down. I had to just redo all of our sinks in our house because a couple of them, the children had played with a little too vigorously. They like opening and closing the sink drains, and they had knocked the mechanism off of the stick from the back of the sink, so I'd get underneath them and rehook them back up. It's actually really easy to do, but you do have to turn your neck in an odd direction to find it. So if you mess it up, it's okay. It's actually a really easy fix. You may have to look up on YouTube what that looks like though. So those are your first three most important things. If you are really and truly in survival mode, I will tell you stop there. You've got 1, 2, and 3. The people in your house will live. You won't have a stinky, smelly bathroom. It won't be to the point where it's going to make someone ill to actually use the toilet or use the sink in your house if you just stay right there. However, if you're not in survival mode, we really should go past that. So I'm going to go through the remaining of my 8 tips, and these are, past survival mode, regular care and upkeep of the bathrooms in our homes. What should we be doing? So sweeping or vacuuming the floor, depending on what kind of flooring that you have, I would put in there next. Now, if you have boys who maybe don't aim perfectly well, before you start sweeping and vacuuming, you might have to get on the floor around that toilet and have a good look and see what is actually on the floor. Maybe spray around that area and mop that if you can mop, or hit it with a microfiber cloth or a paper towel if you'd prefer disposable items first. I have young boys in my house right now, and sometimes they miss. Sometimes I've had to clean down walls because we've missed that badly. So be not surprised where you might find mess or puddles. It might be on the back of the toilet, on the floor around the toilet, in the nooks and crannies on the sides of the toilet. Even if it's not things like missing, you'd be surprised how much dust and things collect there. So check that out while you're in the process of sweeping and vacuuming the floors as well. Number 5, the mirror. All right, this is a neat trick someone else taught to me a couple years ago, and I tried it, and I'm so excited that it worked because I love minimizing the number of cleaning products I have to order and have in my house, and I love things that don't really require any cleaning products at all. You do not need to buy mirror spray or window spray ever again. You do need microfiber cloths. Walmart sells them. You can get a giant bundle of them for $5. I did that 2 years ago. I have not needed to buy any new ones yet. They're still going strong and working beautifully well. However, let me give you one word of advice. Don't put them in the dryer. They lose their ability to pick up material once they're put in the dryer. However, you can revive them as long as you haven't dried them on a really high heat or too many times. So run it back through the wash again and then air dry it. So I have some of the children's duty as they flip the laundry from the washer to the dryer is to pick out microfiber cloths. Thankfully, I bought them intentionally in very bright colors so that it's easy for them to spot them, and then we know those are separate. They're a different kind of material than the other cloths that we use otherwise. But all you need is a dry microfiber cloth. Just barely dampen one little corner of the cloth. Wipe down the mirror. If it's a place where people brush their teeth, there's going to be toothpaste and spit on the mirror. So you're going to need a little bit of water to get that off. Once you've got that all off and all you've got left is just water streaks, especially if you live where there's hard water, we do, you're then going to take the dry ends of your microfiber cloth and you're going to swipe back and forth, nice straight clean lines. And if you still see a little bit of dampness, you still see some water droplets on the mirror, go back, fold the cloth, make sure it's another dry spot and do it again. You may need to grab a second cloth. But once you do that, the mirror is left completely dry, so there's no streaks. I could not achieve that with just water and paper towels, so I was so excited to find you can do it with microfiber. Your mirror didn't need sanitation. So unless, somebody's got something really, really bad that they're sick with and they're sneezing it all over the mirror, and then you expect someone, who comes into the room and is touching and licking their hands, that's not going to happen. You don't need to sanitize your mirror. So there's really no need to do anything besides just water and wipe that off. But having a good clean mirror really affects the feel and the mood of your bathroom. So you do want to make sure that you hit that real quickly, especially before company comes over, if you're given to hospitality, before the husband gets home. Make sure that mirror is nice and sparkling. That goes a long way towards the bathroom feeling clean. Number 6, the trash can. Do not allow trash in the trash can to make the bathroom smell. Stop buying the scented trash bags. You're making yourself sick. You're giving yourself headaches and allergy issues. You just need to change the trash more often, to be honest. Now, we try as much as possible to not put anything that would smell into the bathroom trash. Very little things should go in the bathroom trash. But sometimes of the month, if you're using products that are disposable, that's going to be going into the trash can. That means you may need to change the trash daily during that week. It is what it is. So if the bathroom starts to smell, that's your cue that whether it's full or not, you've got to change that trash. So make sure that you're keeping on top of that once a month once you change the trash, or maybe just every time so you build a good habit. Just give a good look over to the trash can itself. Maybe it would benefit from a quick spray if you see things dripped on it. The kids have sprayed water everywhere. Wash their hands and instead of using the hand towel, just shook their hands. Nobody's kids does that but mine, right? And so give it a good look over and see if maybe you don't need to wipe it down real quick just to keep it looking nice and clean. Trash can, really important. Now, if you can get one with a lid, that might buy you a little bit more time, but then you have the extra issue of you eventually do have to take off and sanitize that lid. I prefer not to do that, so mine's not got a lid. But that's up to you. You do what works. Number 7, make sure that you keep the bathroom well stocked with any products that everyone needs access to in that room. And the same thing goes, as I mentioned earlier, for you and your cleaning products. Keep everything you need to clean the bathroom in that room. Now, if you have little ones, the cleaning products need to go up high. So the hypochlorous acid, bleach, things that you're going to put in the toilet bowl cleaners type stuff, that needs to go up high. So you really should invest in a little cabinet, little medicine cabinet, something that you can put up high above the toilet so that the little ones can't get into that sort of thing. But things like extra rolls of toilet paper, roll of paper towels for your cleaning, maybe the microfiber cloths, a couple washcloths. Trying to think what else. If you use flushable wipes, maybe you have little ones, they prefer that. Any of those sorts of products, liners and pads and things like that, keep them in that room. Every time you come in that room, just do a quick once over, make mental note, oh, we're running low. Try to keep well ahead. It should never be the case that someone using the toilet uses the last piece of toilet paper and there isn't another roll in there for them to swap it out. If that's been your habit, you need to rethink your bathroom space, get some kind of basket, just again, put it on the back of the toilet itself, but you should have 2 extra rolls of toilet paper in every bathroom. That way, when you walk in and you see that, oh, somebody used one of the 2 extra rolls, now there's only 1 left, you're making a mental note to go refill it, and nobody's ever in the position of having to yell, I'm out of toilet paper, someone help. Especially if you are given to hospitality, inviting your church family and extended family over to your home, which you should be doing. That's a horrifying situation to put someone in who doesn't live in your home. So embarrassing. So don't let that happen. Keep that room very well stocked. You also want to take a look at the soap. Make sure that that's well filled. Fill it up before company comes over. Again, pick a day of the week. You just kind of do the soap refill through the whole house. And you also want to consider the clean towels that are available, especially the hand towel for drying hands after washing hands at the bathroom sink. That should be swapped out daily. Again, unless it's in a space where the bathroom gets used maybe once a day by one person. Then okay, maybe you can make it every other day. But otherwise, that towel should get swapped out daily. That may mean that you need to go shopping and get a couple more hand towels because you haven't got enough. It may mean you need to be doing the laundry a little bit more frequently, which we'd already talked about in a previous episode. But you absolutely need to make sure that that's clean. While we're on the topic of the bathroom, we also want to consider our shower towels. So make sure that after people have showered, they know to hang the towels out and open so that they dry completely before they then go into the hamper and then go into the wash. Wet rags and towels should never go into the hamper with our clothes. They should always be hung to dry first and then go into the hamper, unless you're able to immediately do a wash and then just put everything into the wash machine whilst it's still wet. But those things need to completely dry. Once towels have been used, they should be laundered and fresh towels brought in. If you have multiple floors of your home, just again, words of advice, it's a good idea to keep towels in the bathroom, in all the bathrooms where you have showers. Have a space designated for extra towels for your convenience so that when you walk in to give it a look over, you see, oh, that towel got used today. Grab that one, throw it in the hamper, open the cabinet, put the fresh towel in its place. I like to keep my fresh, clean towels folded a certain way. That way, when they're not folded that way, I instantly know the towel got used and I can go ahead and swap it out. But you do what works for you. But that's something that should definitely be a part of keeping your bathroom well stocked. Same goes for double checking things like shower soaps and shampoos and products that your family uses. Keep an eye on that. When something starts to get low, immediately move that bottle or that bar into the shower so that there's two in there. Hopefully, they're well trained to know to use the smaller, emptier one first. Worst case, dump one bottle into the other, refill them a little bit. But having it there again avoids that really embarrassing, awkward moment of, hey, I'm in the shower and I have no more shampoo. Mom, grab me another shampoo. Just keep eye on that and make sure that you're constantly bringing that in. All right, last tip number 8, and then I'll just give you a couple more words of advice about general bathroom cleaning, is how to take care of the actual shower itself or the bathtub, or if you have a combo, the tub and shower combined together. Again, if you're in survival mode, do not worry about it. Your bathtub and shower will be okay for, 4 to 8 weeks without you doing anything to it, generally speaking. But if you're not in survival mode, it does need to be cleaned. So some things again that work. Convenience. Use the habits and patterns you already have. You hopefully are already in a habit of taking showers or taking a bath, whatever it is that you do. While you're in there, it is wise to go ahead and have a sponge or a washcloth, stick it on the ledge. And when you're finished, while you're still in there, the water's on, you go ahead and wipe down everything. Wipe down the walls. If you see any spot, grab that real quick. Wipe down the actual tub, the floor itself, and then you're good. It's already easy to do because the shower's already been in use. It's already kind of somewhat warm. It's been kind of moist and humid, so all of the grime and things that might would have wanted to build up, soap scum and such, that didn't rinse down the last time, is going to come off very easily because it's already been wet. So that's just a really easy, convenient thing. If you have a really large bathtub shower combo unit as well, sometimes it's hard from the outside to be leaning and reaching over into all the nooks and crannies versus when you're actually already in there, super easy to do that particular cleaning. So that's something that maybe you want to look at every time you're in there. It maybe doesn't have to get wiped down every time you're there, but give it a look over. If you notice that there's, a couple of spots here and there, probably has been a couple of times since you've wiped it down, just do it real quick. It doesn't take but 45 seconds. And so it's really easy to just build that into the routine you've already got. Now, the other thing you want to think of about this is that eventually just wiping it down with, a rag of water is not quite enough. You're going to need to actually clean it a little bit. And so what works really well for all of the porcelain, white, ceramic, plastic, whatever it is that yours is made out of, they all work well, is baking soda. So you want to, when it's mostly dry in there, a little bit of water is okay. Go ahead and sprinkle baking soda all along the bottom. Don't add water to it. You want it dry. Give it a couple minutes. Come back and just sprinkle a little bit of water everywhere. Just take a cupful and kind of drizzle it over it. And the best practice, although you can work around it if you don't have it, is to get one of those brushes that has the handle on it that's for bathtubs and showers. And have a brush. You can use it several times, for a couple of months before you really ought to kind of chuck it and get a new one. But hang on to that and scrub that baking soda into all of the nooks and crannies all along the bottom, all along the sides, all along the walls, everything that's that white bathtub material. And you want to make sure the baking soda is still mostly dry, but it's got a little bit of dampness to it. And you might be amazed, if this is the first time you've used any product on your actual bathtub, how much whiter it is after you do that. So baking soda does a really good job of pulling out impurities and grabbing, harmful things that have kind of built up, getting the scum and all of that off. And the brush with its bristles does a really good job of getting that really resistant soap scum, especially if you use bar soaps. The fats and oils from bar soaps actually require high heat in order to release them, or else lots of friction. So the brush does a great job of taking care of both of those requirements. Now, if you can't use a brush, you don't have one, they're not super cheap. You can get by with a pretty rough old rag. So if you've got something that's got kind of a abrasive texture to it, don't go out and get steel wool or something metal like that. You'll scratch it up and destroy your bathtub. But a kind of more scratchy rag is what I would just call it. A fabric that's a little more rough. Kind of use that and kind of scrub it in. It is going to be a lot more work for you physically because you're going to have to supply all the pressure and friction, whereas the little bristles on that brush would have done that for you. You're also going to have to follow that up with a blazing hot rinse, especially if you didn't have the brush. Blazing hot, as hot as your hot water heater will go on whatever setting you've got your house. Spray it down if you've got a shower head that's removable, or run water and get a cup and kind of just pour it all over everything, especially again if you use a bar soap. That really high heat is necessary to release all the fats and oils from the soap off of the shower. You also want to put really, really hot water down the pipes every once in a while. Now don't go boiling it, like I said, just the hottest your tap will go. And kind of make sure that runs down, especially after you've used bar soap, because it does contain extra fat and oil. It's not like liquid soap. Bar soap is intentionally uh, undercooked, I guess I'll say. It's not technically undercooked, but when it's made, they intentionally make sure that there's a little extra fat and oil that doesn't react out with the sodium hydroxide lye. And that's so that A, we err on the side of caution. We don't want anyone to get burnt from using our soap. But B, that also makes sure it doesn't strip your skin of all of its natural fats and oils. The downside to that is that then some parts of fat and oil are in your bathtub and going down your drain when you use the soap bar. And water alone won't remove those. Hopefully you know water doesn't actually do anything to remove oil from pots and pans, so the same holds true with soap bars. Really hot water, though, actually will. So that's the secret to keeping that from clogging up. Until next time!